we had a really good webinar, and I know we are like on the edge on with podcasts. Usually we're like 4 deep, but like the past like 5 months, we're like, okay, we're just going to produce a podcast right before the day it comes out. So this week we had a great podcast with Gina and talking about sales, like for people that are busy. When you start off your company, you're doing it all. And we wanted to talk about like how you can actually market and find your clients while being busy. And so one of the things we came across in our tool was this really cute way to do lead gen that was personal and was easy and that an MSP could do like right away. And along the path, we started talking about how do you find clients that are a right fit for you? Like instead of going after everyone and taking any dollar that comes in your door, why not target people you know are a good fit and are going to be a good source of revenue? That's what I want to talk about in this podcast is like kind of how like Skip and I talk about all the time. Like we'll get off of a demo call and be like, yeah, that wasn't a good fit.
Yep.
You know,
we do it pretty often. Well, and unfortunately, we don't always pick up on that early in the sales cycle.
Yeah.
And, when I'm doing onboarding with some of our new members, we always pick validation clients. All right. It's just context is king in some of those early stages. And one of the tips or suggestions that I give them is that one client. All right.
Yeah.
And I always try to start, I'm old. So, I'm thinking, was it the Billy Crystal movie with City Slickers?
What's that thing?
One thing. Anyway, that image, it doesn't really match, but that image always pops to mind. But it's that customer that it's a daily race, whether they fire you or you fire them. All right. And it's just not a good situation. And I enjoy using those clients early on because the best takeaway is it helps define what is good business. And if we're going to build a scalable process, let's build it around good business, not bad business. So I think it's a continuous process that we have to go through. But the first step is those new clients. Is this someone that you would want to work with? I mean, is that check going to cover the fears that you have about them? Or is that check going to make it so that you're willing to pick up the phone? If they weren't sending you a check, would you pick up the phone and talk to them? Again, I'm old, phone calls, right? But, are you wanting to work with the people that you're looking at as prospects?
Yeah. And if you look at your existing clients as well as the new clients, like of your existing clients, which ones are your favorite? I talk to startup MSPs all the time. We love helping startups. If you're a startup MSP and you want to work with us, reach out. We love working with startups because what happens is you start using our software and then you can target the audience you want and they see that you're different. They see that you're going to actually deliver and give them transparency so they can actually get a grip on what's going on with their IT. And so what we want to do is show those clients that you love, like what do they have in common? Are they all of a certain vertical? Are they all led by a similar type of person?
Management style? Yes.
Yeah, they have different management style. What is it they do? Maybe they're very family oriented. Maybe they're by the book. They love just clean cut things. So what is it that you're after? And if you can identify that, you can now work with those existing clients to nurture them. And then you can work with new clients to replace the ones that you're going to fire in 6 months.
Yes. Well, you said it well there. I mean, who do you like? Which of your customers do you like? And now there is a little bit of separation there. I mean, you may have customers that you like the person there, it's an old college buddy or whatever, but it's difficult because there are challenges in that business. So you kind of want to take the perspective of which customers does your business like. Yeah. All right. But you can still get very, subjective, very personal. Our business likes this. All right. And then look into that. Why? Why does that? And it may not be anything that you would think is a, some sort of business category. Well, they meet this rating, or they have, so many years in history. Some of that stuff doesn't really matter, but your preference as a company is important. Just take a dive into that and see what is leading your disposition to work with that type of company, and then build on that and go after more of those. And you may realize that you can expand where you thought you didn't have a chance before, but it may open up a whole bunch of new opportunities if you understand what it is that you're really wanting.
Yeah, and by focusing on that, so you get so caught up in firefighting mode. I get it. You're an engineer, you're going from thing to thing to thing, and you're like, "Oh, I'm exhausted all the time." Or you have that client where you look at them and go, "Oh, I really don't want to go deal with this person today. I'd rather be working on this other project." And so that's where you think, I need to replace this client. And so if you start thinking of that, like, okay, what do you want to replace this client with? I would love to replace this client with, and then answer that question. And you can't answer it with something like, I'd love to replace this client with somebody who I never talked to and pays me a lot of money.
Right. That doesn't work.
I mean, you can say that, but you're going to have a hard time finding them. I would love to replace this client with somebody who is a medical office, or maybe a medical conglomerate where they have like a family practice where they have like 10 practices around town, because we really know that field well, and it's not very strenuous for us to deliver for those clients. For me, it was schools. So you hear me talk about schools all the time. When I was doing VCIO work, I targeted schools, and schools were my thing. I knew what they were going to ask me, and so I always had ready answers for them. I had processes in place to help them immediately, and that was a win for everyone. So what we want to do is go through and think about what it is for you. Like, who is it you want to go after? You can spend 2 days. I think we said this in the sales meeting. You can spend 2 days building a campaign, or building marketing collateral, or whatever it is you're going to do, trying to blanket your zip code with, come work with me. Or you can spend an hour picking up the phone and calling that one person you really want to do business with that fits that model like that. This is who I would love to do. I would love to do business with this family practice because they're awesome. They actually have a very good footprint in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I know if I got them, I would feel proud that they were my customer.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I know their vertical. So you call them and you say that.
Mhm.
You say those things. You walk in the door and you say, "Hey, I would love to do business with you. Ask for the business." I think Gina was one who taught us that. Ask for the business. You are a good fit for us. We get what you're doing, and we want to help you in your success. I don't know who your current MSP is, but I guarantee you they don't care about you the way that I will. And that becomes your pitch. So that 1 hour, that one drive just saved you 2 days of time.
Right.
And it has a better chance of success than blanket marketing on LinkedIn to your zip code. Because guess what? Your competitors are just blanket marketing as well.
Yes. And you've got to look at what is your return on that going to be. So, of course, all of those mass marketing deals, if you dig deep enough, you will find somebody that's going to give you some sort of number, and it says you're going to have this percentage of success rate, or this conversion rate. And whatever it is, it's going to be really, really low. And so you look at that and you go, all right, well, I just need to cast a bigger net and I'll end up with more. But what you end up with is quite possibly companies that you don't want to work with.
Yeah.
So you're taking a big gamble.
Most likely companies you don't want to work with.
Most likely, yes, to chase after this small little slice of companies that you're probably not going to like. So flip that around. Maybe it's only a few opportunities, a few prospects that you're working. And so it's not that 10,000 group, but you may be running, a 50-50 chance of closing those deals. So obviously the odds are much better. And once you do close them, now you already know these are customers that I'm going to be able to be successful with.
And I can hear the thoughts, even as we're recording here, because I know the objection here. Like, well, I'll take anybody. I just need more cash right now. And like, okay, I am talking to you. Skip and I are talking to you. If you want cash as fast as possible, talk to people that you want to do business with. Those are your low hanging fruit. When you run out of those people, then you can start blanket marketing. Then you can start hiring an SDR over in, you know, India to make calls for you, or the Philippines to make calls for you, and start calling generally. Right now, your low hanging fruit are the people that you do business with today. Do you have a favorite burger joint? Walk in there and say, dude, I've been doing business here for 15 years. I love the burgers you do. I want to take care of you because I want to make sure that my burgers stay in business.
Yeah.
You know, like walk in, use that connection. You don't need to go to a social networking group. You need to walk in and talk to the owner of that establishment because they're a small business or just like you. And for somebody to take time out of their day and say, I care about you. I've been doing business long enough here that I would like to take care of you now. And now you've got that low hanging fruit immediately converts into dollars because either they don't have a contract now or they do have a contract. And given the nature of our software, this MSP that's currently taking care of them probably hasn't talked to them about their business in the past 2 years, not since onboarding. They've come in, they fix the computers, and that's it. So use that relationship to build and say, hey, look, my daughter goes here, to your clinic, and I would love to talk to your administration about doing your computers. Because here's some problems I've noticed while I've been here.
Yes.
And
Personal
I know I can fix
experience.
them,
Yep.
but until I have a contract, I can't do that. Or the school that your kid goes to private school. Where are the gaps in their technology? Talk to the principal. Say, hey, look, I noticed that you aren't using Chromebooks in your school. I noticed that you're not using VR headsets. I noticed that you may be struggling with ChatGPT. Let me come in and help you and your teachers with that. Let me run a workshop for you on ChatGPT and how to handle that. Now you're in the door. And that's by identifying the clients that you care about and are a good fit for you. And when you do that, you suddenly have this client who's like, oh my gosh, that is a big difference. And you know what? They're in a vertical. They're going to tell their friends.
Yes. Yes.
So some of these verticals, like doctors' offices, they hang out, they talk to each other, they go to the same conferences together, and they complain about their HMS systems, they complain about their computers, they complain about their personnel. And when one of them has a solution, they tell their friends. And their friends are like, oh my gosh, I would love to work with that. I would love to have that problem solved.
Yes.
Oh, at your dental clinic, we have iPads that kids can use and kiosks so they can play games while they wait. I'm like, oh, really? We moved from that to VR headsets last year, and it's like doubled our business.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a relationship is going to go two ways. And so if you have a relationship with a company and you really like working with them, your business likes working with them, then very likely the inverse is true there. They like working with you, and they're going to talk. They're going to share. So that is the referral, idea that a lot of business, advisors always talk about the referral system. You don't want people who don't like you referring you necessarily, right?
Yeah.
That's not probably going to work out right. So people that do like you, that do have an interest in you and want to see you succeed, those are the referrals you're looking for.
Yeah. Like in amongst our clients, and Skip is too nice on demo calls. I'm a lot more bull. Like if we are a culture mismatch or you're going in a direction I see as a bad fit, you will hear about it from me in the demo. Like I am pre-qualifying you right then. Like either you're going to change your mindset or we're just going to part and we're going to go, and I will recommend a different company for you.
Yeah.
That is a good fit because what we're doing is relational. And believe it or not, I get in demos, and Skip's been in demos. I do not know how many at this point. They're more and more rare, but we have these MSPs who don't want a relationship with their customer. They want their customer to pay and know they've been served.
Yep.
I mean, it's
all
transactional.
automated process.
They want everything automated. They got these giant spreadsheets that prove that they're doing what they're doing. And then they want to send this spreadsheet to the client without talking to them. And the client say, okay, you did your job last month. Here's your paycheck. Completely transactional. No conversations, no relationship. And some clients enjoy that. And some MSPs thrive on that model. But as I told Skip, I think in a message here today, like I'm here to destroy those MSPs.
Yeah.
I'm here to
That's it.
take the
Yep.
relational MSP who likes their clients and wants to see their clients succeed. I want them to come in the door and say, this other MSP's been a break fix for you and they've been managing your assets. I'm going to help you manage your business. I'm going to make sure that the Bob's Burger joint here is one of the best burger joints to come to. And we're going to do that through X, Y, and Z. And that is a relationship. Now you're a partner. That's who I and Skip and the rest of the team want to do business with. And we've defined that so that in an onboarding or when we have somebody sign up for our site or our software during onboarding, Skip doesn't have to fight the battle. Because every once in a while somebody slips through the cracks.
Every once in a while.
They're like, oh, well, how do I automate all this so I don't have to talk to I can just send this to my client. I don't have to talk to them. Well, technically, yes.
Yeah, those are the surprising moments.
Like, why would you want to? Because every time you meet with your client, converse with them, you should be walking away with cash. Not because you're milking them, but because you guys worked through a problem together.
Right. Growing businesses spend money.
I talked to that with the Central Mafia group yesterday about if you walk into a QBR and don't walk out with an action plan and a set of approved projects, you failed your QBR. And let that hang there for a second. You should be talking to that client that you care so much about. Say, hey, look, the big thing in the dentistry field right now is the waiting room experience. So how do we increase that? Right now, people are using iPads and PCs that are kind of tied down so the kid can sit there and they can de-stress before their dental appointment. What if you took it to the next level? We could put VR headsets in there that they could use to kind of get their wiggles out before the dentist. Come up with some idea. I'm not saying this is a good idea that you're going to do, but you're technology people. You know the cool technology out there. You know what resonates with kids. These dentist offices are just putting the iPads and the kiosks in there because it was the latest thing. Well, what is the next thing? And so what if in the waiting room, there's a kiosk with ChatGPT on it where, a mom or a patient could ask questions while they wait about their procedure. And
that's the opportunities that you get to work out. And so again, I always want to qualify this. You don't have the answers to all of these.
Correct.
And that's okay. Neither does your customer, but together you do. Together you can.
And that's where if you are focused on a set of clients that, and you have found them and populated your portfolio with these clients, you have a similar mindset amongst all of them. So when you discover something cool, it's applying to half your user base.
Yes.
Versus if you've got a wide portfolio and you are hitting a ton of different businesses, you come with an idea, it might affect one, maybe five, but your brain is so scattered, which is how you get into firefighting mode, people. In the corporate world, we have a very distinct advantage. We have one vertical to worry about, just one. I know working at this company, we are interested in student loans and getting to the top of the pile. I know that I'm working for this company that we care about helping realtors sell houses. I know this stuff internally. Now we have a bunch of things we can focus on in the middle. And when we think of clever ideas on how to help the business, we can kick it up the pipeline because we have one vertical to worry about. Hey, you know what? When I was working for a certain company that did real estate, I had this great idea. Like, what if when you're selling a home, you had listed on it the history, who did what work on it, and kind of told the story of the house. These are all home improvements that have been done over the past 15 years. So you see, this house has been loved and cared for, and it gives it that emotional attachment. I kicked that up. I would not have been able to think about that if I had been working on 16 different verticals all at the same time. I would have gone from break fix to break fix to break fix to break fix all day long because I'm good at fixing things.
Yeah. Well, and it's not.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not just a vertical. It's back to that. What companies do you like and why do you like them? And what I mentioned earlier is the management style. And so you can have two vastly different customers operating completely in different industries, geographies, or whatever. But if those companies operate and are managed in very similar styles, you're going to be able to leverage ideas and new
Oh yeah.
approaches across all of them because you're connected. You understand. You get it. They get
You're the hub.
you. All right. And you can distribute this around. So it's don't just think in industry verticals. Think about the commonality that you've already thought about because you picked this as a customer. You've already got a common thread now across all of them.
So to expand on that, imagine you're working with family-oriented companies that may have a big priority on family time, right? And it happens to be the kind of customers you attract. Now, one customer says, "Hey, we got this great work at home policy. Can you help us write it for acceptable use policy for internet use at home?" And you work with them on that. You help them build that up. Use one of your boilerplates and insert it into their documentation. And you're like, while you're sitting there, you're like, "Hey, if somebody's going to work from home, we should probably give them dual monitors. We should probably do these things for them. And we're going to do this docking station." You come up with a setup for them at home, just as part of your due diligence, right? Well, now you have 10 other customers who are like, "Hey, I just worked on this work from home policy with Toys R Us. What do you guys think? Would you guys want to implement something like that? This is how the setup was done. We did everything like this, and it's now a benefit for all these companies." You just took a great business idea that a client came up with to benefit their employees. And now you can say, I can take this to other companies and say, "Hey, let's improve your employees' lifestyle. Let's give them more time at home with family," and everybody wins. Now, will this work with your companies that are big brick and mortar, you will come on site button seat company? No.
No, but different style, different
Hopefully
approach.
you have disqualified those people early on.
Yep.
So,
and I know some of you may be thinking, I that all sounds great. Maybe someday, right? And as Adam says, someday means never, right? And you're saying, I need cash right now. I need to take this check from this bad customer. I totally understand that stress. Right? I've been in the startup role. We personally experienced that. But you have to also understand how much that check costs you. So if they are a bad fit, it's not just, oh, I've got to buck it up and, endure the discomfort. No, those bad fits are costing you money in operations, efficiencies, or they're setting you up for a huge catastrophe. Maybe it's a company that won't adopt security practices, and at some point, it's going to cost you a significant amount of time, a reputation to get that fixed. So don't discount the cost of bad business. It might not be as attractive as that check looks.
Yep. Part of finding clients is finding your bad clients. Identifying, saying, I want to get rid of this client. I need the check now. I understand that you need that check now. Keep taking it. However, identify them as a client you're going to fire in 6 months.
Yep.
Now, work towards that goal. If this is a 3,000 MRR check that you're taking that you have to take, find a 3,000 MRR client. Look at the kinds of clients that are out there, the people you want to do business with, and think, who would be worth a 3,000 MRR deal or an 8,000 MRR deal or whatever it is that will replace this income, but be a client that is healthy for me.
Yes.
And you walk into that next client. Now you have targeted. You have set your parameters, which is 90% of the battle in sales.
Yeah.
And now you're going to walk after this particular doctor's office and you're going to say, "Hey, I want to do business with you. This is why. I love what you're doing. I love how you treat your patients. I love the culture here. I think I have something to offer in augmenting that. I've got other customers that I love working with. And I think we can bring a lot of the strategies that we're doing with these other customers to you. What do you think about doing business in like 6 months? Like, can we onboard you in 4 months? And if we do that, you're going to synergize with all these other things. We're going to see a lot more efficiencies and I can walk in the door." Now you can onboard them. So you're going to get, if you do it in 4 months, you're going to have 2 months of double paycheck as you give notice to your old client and say, "I'm getting rid of you." And what will happen is something magical. This is what Skip is driving at. Your time is going to free up. Your stress levels are going to go down.
Yes. The morale of your
amount of money
your
coming
team.
in, but you just increased your bandwidth and you increased your life, your cost or your quality of living.
Yes.
You've done a whole bunch of
So
things. It's magical. A whole bunch of things happen at once when you get rid of a toxic client and bring in a good client.
yes. So when you get rid of a $3,000 a month client, replace it with another good $3,000 a month client. That
Yes.
is not a wash. Don't see that as an even transaction. You have gained. You have gained time, energy, the morale in your organization, your efficiencies. That newer customer is more profitable, even though the checks that come through may be the same amount. That newer customer is going to be more profitable than the older one.
Yes. It's also going to bring you in more business as they tell people about you, as you resonate, and everything is going to start snapping together. You get a bunch of these clients together, and all of a sudden, you've got a great lifestyle MSP. And that is where you want to get to. Finding your clients means you have to identify who you want to do business with. Who do you currently like doing business with? And who do you want to target specifically? Bob's Burgers? Do you want to go in and talk to Honest Abe's? Do you want to talk to Doctor's Office X, Y, or Z? Identify them and go after them. Once you've done that, you're going to see your life simplify and you're going to see a lot bigger increase in your company. Find your clients, find your people.
There you go. Find your people. Yep.
Thank you, Skip. This has been a great podcast, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Sounds great.